And Silva, that seems to be the crux of this fight that just continued to broil between these two men. This defendant got on Facebook Live and said just horrible things about the victim before, that day before this incident. Your thoughts on how he testified? Because there is the bit of start and stop because of the translator. It seemed like he was very respectful of giving just small bites for it to be translated. But it can be a bit of a hindrance in this jury hearing from him in a very natural way.
Yeah, you know, Julia, when we talk to our jurors in voir dire, when we first ask them questions in jury trials, and I know that I have a client who only speaks Spanish, we actually talk to them whether they have preconceived notions or will view the defendant differently by using an interpreter. So with voir dire, we try to have a very consistent juror who's not going to use the fact that this man's first language isn't English against him. So that's the big thing. So really good jurors understand not to take the interpreter's, the way he handles the interpreter against him, or the fact that he's using an interpreter. So that's number one. I actually thought his demeanor was a real stark contrast to the anger, and that really helps him with the jury, right? Because he seems like kind of this little calm teddy bear. But this is the problem when you record yourself before a crime is committed. That stays in the public record, and he was angry. And you could see the rage. And on the stand, the prosecutors are going to tell the jury, look, of course he was calm on the stand. He had to be. He's testifying in front of you. And he didn't have this rage in him. But look at this Facebook Live. This man was on a different level. And he reached his peak and he snapped. And we see this a lot when it comes to, road rage incidents or people who are so unbelievably angry at the time. It is immortalized on that streaming, whatever way that you stream. You're always going to be held to that standard, which was angry and vile. What a stark contrast in his testimony, right?
Yeah, this is a video-rich trial for this jury. And here's another video that they are going to no doubt be asking for to be played again. This is the incident. It goes very quickly. But you see the defendant on the right, and he raises his arm and fires that weapon. We've stopped it at the moment where the gun is actually fired at Alex Palencia. But what the defense is going to be asking this jury to believe is that the man on the left, the victim, is holding a gun as well and pointing it at him. Silva, just you seeing this video, what would you be thinking if you were a juror?
Was it a reasonable response to what he perceived? Could he have perceived a gun being shown at him? The only issue to that is the boiling over anger. The jury's going to balance this, right? That did he go out there intending to cause harm, regardless of whether, he was under threat? It just seemed like he was in this blind zombie-like rage. Now, it could be enough for reasonable doubt. If a juror says, you know what, look, it looks like maybe he could have perceived that someone had a gun. Maybe he went out there just to scare them. There was no intent. It's really going to be up to the jury to see, to balance, again, because they're in the courtroom, we're not. They're going to balance his veracity on the stand and what they see between the live stream and that video. Was it reasonable? I always say it's really difficult to argue reasonableness when you're coming into a situation that rageful. It really hurts our cases as defense attorneys, because you can always say, well, I wasn't that angry. But you had a Facebook Live, you're live streaming this, and you were full of rage. If you were not that full of rage, would you have shot anybody? So it's going to be real interesting discussion to see where the jury's going to fall on this. Again, I think it's a really difficult battle for the defense. I think it's really the prosecutor's case to lose at this point.
We will see what happens. I'm glad you mentioned the perception, because even if there wasn't a gun, it's possible that the defense is going to argue that he reasonably felt that there was a gun in that moment. And in that video, you can't really know for sure. Right. Silva, stand by. We are going to get in a break, but we'll take you back in as we wait for the closing arguments to begin in the case against Cadel Piedrahita in Miami, Florida. Stay with us.
the 15-year-old girl named Carly Gregg did something that will define the rest of her life.
According to the prosecution, she shot her mom twice in the head, tried to shoot her stepfather.
She looks like a little girl. She is the little girl.
You don't just wake up and kill your parents.
This seemed to come out of nowhere.
The Deadly Daughter murder trial. Live coverage today on Court TV.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. We are in Miami, Florida, where here's a look. The judge is reading jury instructions ahead of closing arguments in the case for a Florida motorcycle driver who shot and killed a cyclist, Cadell Piedrahita.